Noah Carter's hands trembled slightly as he wrung out the last mop of the evening. The hum of the fluorescent lights above seemed louder tonight, echoing through the empty hallways of St. Gabriel's Medical Center. He'd been working here for almost a year, night shifts, double weekends, while juggling classes at the community college. His goal was simple but distant: to finish his mechanical engineering degree and build something better, something lasting. But lately, something else, someone else, had occupied his thoughts. Every Tuesday and Thursday, around 7:15, as the nurses gathered in the break room, Clara Hayes would be there. She wasn't like the others. Where most people walked past him as if he were invisible, Clara always smiled. She said, "Thank you," when he cleaned the coffee spill no one else would touch. She offered him a sandwich without pity, just quiet kindness. No one noticed things. How she'd stay behind after shifts, sitting beside elderly patients who had no visitors. How she'd bring coloring books for the children in the pediatric ward. And how she treated the janitor exactly the same as she treated the chief of surgery. Maybe that's why tonight his heart beat faster than usual. He stood outside the break room door, holding a worn notebook, his little reminder list, and rehearsing his words under his breath. He wasn't rich, he wasn't powerful, but he had courage, and maybe that counted for something. He pushed open the door. "Hey, Noah," Clara said, glancing up from her tablet. The soft glow from the vending machine light framed her features. Calm, kind, beautiful. "Another long night?" "Always," he said with a chuckle that came out a little shakier than he'd hoped. He took a deep breath. "Actually, Clara, I wanted to ask you something before I lose a nerve." Clara smiled, curious. "Okay, now you got me intrigued." Noah exhaled slowly. "The hospital's charity gala is next Friday. I know it's not exactly my scene, but I was wondering if you'd go with me." There it was, out in the open. He braced himself for laughter, or pity, maybe both. But instead, Clara's expression softened. "You mean like as your date?" He nodded quickly. "Yeah, I know I'm just a guy with a mop and a maintenance badge, but I figured I'd regret not asking more than hearing a no." For a moment, there was silence. Then a slow, warm smile spread across her face. "You know what, Noah? I'd love to." He blinked. "Wait, really?" "Really," she said, laughing at his stunned expression. "But full disclosure, I'm a terrible dancer." "Perfect," he grinned. "Then we'll be terrible together." The week passed faster than Noah expected. He borrowed a tuxedo from a friend, spent his last few savings on gala tickets, and tried to memorize basic dance steps using YouTube tutorials in his tiny apartment kitchen. When Friday night came, he drove his old pickup truck, freshly washed and nervously polished, to Clara's apartment. When she stepped out, he froze. Her emerald dress shimmered under the streetlight, her hair loosely pinned, eyes shining brighter than anything he'd ever seen. He swallowed hard. "You look unreal." She smiled shyly. "You don't look too bad yourself, Mr. Carter." At the gala, everything sparkled: chandeliers, champagne, tuxedos. The kind of place Noah only saw in movies. He felt eyes on him as they entered. People whispered. A janitor with a nurse? The audacity! But Clara didn't care. She stayed close, introducing him to everyone with quiet confidence. "This is my date, Noah," she'd say, smiling proudly. They danced. They laughed. They talked about everything. Her favorite patients, his dream of designing hospital tech that made workers' jobs easier. For a moment, the stares melted away. It felt like the world had narrowed down to just the two of them. Halfway through the night, Clara led him to the balcony, away from the crowd and the noise. The city lights glowed below like fallen stars. "There's something I need to tell you," she said softly. Noah's stomach dropped. "That sounds serious." She hesitated. "I didn't want you to think I was hiding it, but my mother is Evelyn Hayes." The name hit him like a bell. Evelyn Hayes, CEO of Hayes Healthcare, the company that just donated millions to St. Gabriel's new research wing. "You mean—" "Yes," Clara nodded. "I'm her daughter. I grew up in boardrooms and charity dinners like this, but I hated it. I didn't want to manage hospitals from a desk. I wanted to be inside them, helping people directly. She looked down, ashamed. Most people treat me differently once they find out. Either they try to impress me, or they assume I'm just playing nurse until I get bored. Noah was quiet for a moment, then said gently, "You know what I see when I look at you? A woman who treats everyone the same. That's worth more than any last name." Clara's eyes glistened. "You really mean that?" "Yeah, you've never looked down on me. You didn't have to say yes tonight, but you did. That means something." She smiled through her tears. "You always see the best in people, don't you?" He chuckled softly. "Not always. Just in you." A few weeks later, whispers spread to the hospital. People had found out who Clara really was, and who she was dating. Some called Noah a gold digger. Others said she was just slumming it. It stung. Every cruel word. Every side eye. But neither of them let it break them. One night, Noah found a note slipped into his locker. "You'll never be good enough for her." He read it twice, then quietly threw it away. That night, Clara found him on the rooftop garden, staring at the city. "You heard what they're saying?" she asked softly. "Yeah. And you're not leaving?" He smiled faintly. "Why would I leave the best thing that ever happened to me?" She stepped closer, taking his hand. "Then let them talk. We'll write our own story." 6 months later, Noah walked across the graduation stage. When his name was called, Clara was the first on her feet, cheering loud enough to embarrass him, and he loved every second of it. Among the applause, he noticed a familiar face. Evelyn Hayes herself, clapping with quiet approval. After the ceremony, she approached him. "Noah Carter," she said, "you're the man my daughter wouldn't stop talking about." He swallowed. I hope that's a good thing." She smiled. "It is. You remind me of her father. Determined, kind, honest." She extended her hand. "Welcome to the family, son." A year later, Clara and Noah were married in the same hospital chapel where they first met. Doctors, nurses, even janitors filled the pews. Noah's tux was simple. Clara's dress was elegant, but the joy in their eyes outshone everything else. As they danced at their small reception, Noah whispered, "You realize you just married a janitor." Clara smiled. "No, I married a man who never stopped believing he could build something better, and he did." Years later, Noah would become an engineer designing hospital equipment that made nurses' work safer. Clara would open free clinics in low-income neighborhoods, funded quietly through her family's foundation. But no matter how far they went, they still kept one tradition. Every anniversary, they'd play the same song they danced to at that gala. In their kitchen, bare feet on tile, hearts full of gratitude. Because love, they learned, doesn't care about what you wear, what you earn, or who your parents are. It only cares about how deeply you're willing to see someone and stay when it's not easy. Sometimes, the people society overlooks are the ones with the purest hearts. True love doesn't look at status. It looks at character. If this story touched your heart, don't scroll away. Tap like, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who believes in love beyond titles. And tell us in the comments, would you give love a chance if it came from somewhere unexpected?